This exhibit is titled July '64, Rochester Remembers. It's hanging in the Link Gallery at City Hall, and we've put it up to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Rochester Rebellion. Some call it a riot, some call it a rebellion, that happened 50 years ago on July 24th, 1964. The wonderful thing about this exhibit is you really see a lot of emotion. You don't just see the kinds of pictures that would appear in the newspaper, although many of these pictures did appear in the newspaper. What you really see are the faces of people who are in pain, who are emotionally in pain, who are going through a lot of stress, who are living these 3 days in a very visceral kind of way. We discussed when we put up this exhibit whether or not we would use captions. And what we decided was that these images really speak for themselves. There was no captioning of those 3 days. People just were living it and feeling it, and you really see that in these photos. For this one, for example, just the emotion that comes across in this photo, I just feel is extremely moving. You read the entire event in this gentleman's face. I mean, what caption could ever replace what you're seeing in this face? And for that reason, we decided to really let the power of these images speak for themselves. One of the things that I want people to see in this exhibit is that this was really a transformative event. You see things the way they were before. We've structured the exhibit so it's almost a beginning, during, and after. We want you to discover, in looking at these pictures, what this event was really like. Of all of the images that I have ever seen surrounding this event, and I thought that I had seen every image that was available surrounding this event, this one that came out of the City Archive was something new for me. And I wanted to make it the first one for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's a child. And the child is talking about having a dream. And one of the important things about July '64 is that it was happening against a national backdrop of disorder. People who were living here were seeing things going on in other communities in the South, terrible things that were not dissimilar to what they were experiencing. So it really made people feel like they weren't alone, that it wasn't something that was happening just here, that they were part of something larger that was happening in this country. And we actually have bracketed this particular display with an older gentleman looking out a window. So he's looking back at where he's come from, whereas the little girl and the other child at the beginning are looking towards their future. I think that makes a very powerful statement about the exhibit. So what I hope this exhibit does, and I feel confident that this exhibit is already doing, is sparking a community dialogue about where we were and where we are. I'm Christopher, Director of Communications for the City of Rochester, and this is what's happening in your city.